When the holidays start to feel a bit repetitive, reach for a Sprite Winter Spiced Cranberry and put your twist on tradition. A bold cranberry and winter spice flavor fusion, Sprite Winter Spiced Cranberry is a refreshing way to shake things up this sipping season. And only for a limited time. Sprite, obey your thirst.
Here's my 30-second story with Guinness. As soon as my sister and I get home for the holidays, we don't even unpack. We head straight to our pub. The bartender already knows our order, Guinness and fries. We laugh all night, catch up with old friends, and walk home with faces sore from smiling. It's one of my favorite nights of the year. That was my 30-second story with Guinness.
Guinness Draft Stout. Please enjoy responsibly. Imported by Diageo Beer Company, USA, New York, New York.
This episode is presented by State Farm. Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like needing the protection of an offensive guard on the football field, but getting an elementary school crossing guard. Sure, they're both guards, but you can only trust one to keep your quarterback safe when the game is on the line. So don't settle for just any insurance when there's State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Coming up, Eagles soaring in England and France, a new head coach here at home, success at the Sevens, and a World Cup draw in the bag. What can our men expect in their pool in Australia? Stick around to find out. This is the Maul Street Journal. Hello and welcome to the Maul Street Journal, the podcast that brings you all the latest news and reviews for all things American rugby. We are part of the Global Game Line Network and can be found on all your usual platforms, including YouTube, Spotify, and iTunes. So if you haven't already, give us a like or a subscribe, tell a couple of friends about us, or, if you want to really do us a favor, get in on the pre-sale queue tomorrow morning for the Sevens stop in New York, and then send us all a full weekend package wrapped in beer money. This is episode 19. I'm your host for today, David Lawrence. Sadly, Kolya has been recruited to play in the back row for Alamo City Rugby Club, so he won't be joining us this week. However, coming to us from America's Dairyland, it's Rugby Julia. Julia, how are we this week?
Well, now I'm really downtrodden that I forgot my cheese hat. And I feel like
do you actually have a cheese hat?
I don't.
Okay.
Only because I have a lot of family from Michigan, and if I were to wear it, they wouldn't welcome me anymore.
Yes.
But that said, I mean, great hat. Now I just kind of wish that I had. We should coordinate this. Next time I will get the cheese hat.
We'll ask that next time on the next episode. The best hat, of course, still remains the sort of batter's helmet with the two holders for the two beers
Correct.
with the tubes.
Oh my God.
I got one for my drummer and he has yet to use it. I'm really mad at him. I feel like he's losing his drummer credentials.
I was going to say that is not drummer behavior.
Right.
And then my other thinking was, because there has been recently so much innovation in the scrum cap sphere, which is awesome. Sadia Kabe, a huge shout out. When will the collapsible side pockets for socialing, you're already wearing it. If you don't want to shower, just don't take it off. Boop, pop them out. I feel like this is a good idea, and I feel like a lot of people are ignoring me when I say it. But somebody gave me a microphone.
I'm suddenly getting a vision for an Etsy shop where you make Princess Leia scrum caps.
Oh my God, that is such a good idea. We're gonna have to sell it on friend of the pod, friend of the David, friend of the me, Hattie's shop.
This sounds like a job for Hattie.
I was gonna say this sounds like a job for Hattie.
Well, as usual, we like to start with a question of the week. This week, we're looking for a good recommendation for a rugby movie. There aren't a ton of them out there. One, at least, is borderline unwatchable I can think of. What have you found, Julia, that you could recommend to the listener?
I was kind of hoping you would go first, just because mine is kind of like a shit take. So first, we'll just say it straight out the gate. We both know that you're expecting us to say Invictus. Wrong.
Hey, Kolya is jumping in.
Hi.
We are coming to you. So
I was going to say, coming to you live from the school.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kolya, I was just about to regale the people with a horrible rugby movie choice.
Ooh.
Yes. Our question of the week is a good rugby movie. You obviously didn't know this ahead of time, so we can't put you on the spot, but Julia's
I know. Well, I was just saying, I know you would expect. So first of all, we'll give Kolya Invictus, because I was going to say, I know you all expect us to say Invictus, but wrong. Mine is not going to be Invictus. Mine is a good movie with a very bad rugby scene, which I think is very funny. My answer is The Departed, in which Matt Damon wears a tennis shirt,
Wow.
plays flanker, and then does a bunch of homophobic slurs. 10 out of 10, no notes.
Yeah.
It's like the anti-rugby moment.
It really is. It's a very anti-rugby moment. First of all, the whole rugby scene is very poorly done. And then second of all, it's mostly him calling a bunch of firefighters slurs, which I think is very funny considering who he is in real life.
Very interesting. Kolya, this is completely new to you, but do you have like a burning desire to jump right in and be like, yes, 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 a movie?
Yes. So there is one. I'm trying to remember the name of it. It
I hope you
was,
don't take mine.
yeah, it was covered by Squidge like years ago.
So it is the one I'm thinking of. God, it's on the tip of my tongue. Oh, you're killing me. I knew you were going to go there.
It's this very weird movie made in like, let's see, old scores. Old scores.
Okay.
So it's a movie, or I saw it when I was living in Wales. It's a movie that takes place, or that,
The
and
Squidge Rugby Film Club Old Scores. You got it.
yes, yes, yes. There's this old rugby match that, or played between, I think it's Wales and New Zealand.
Yep.
And and it's brought to their attention like 50 years later that the match shouldn't have ended. So they all come back together to play it.
Oh, that's great. That is
Man.
sports movie magic.
That's super cute. And
Oh,
actually,
that's a good one.
I'm so glad you. Well, I don't know if you're going to do this one, David, so I don't want to call it out, but it was because it was one that we all kind of laughed at when it came out. But I'm going to wait for you.
No, because I don't think any of you would have laughed at it. So I've got a really good one. It's a Kiwi movie. It's called Uproar. It features Rhys Darby. You'll likely know him from Our Flag Means Death, though for me, he's always going to be the band manager for the Flight of the Conchords band meeting. It tells a beautiful story about a troubled kid. It bisects rugby and theater in a way that I found moving, and of course, it was like designed for me. It's got
I was going to say, also, it
funny.
made me cry.
Exactly. It's got heart. It's
Also,
just a quietly unexpected winner. Really, really enjoyed that one. You can see it on Hulu, and I think on YouTube is actually where I watched it.
And none of us are referencing Forever Strong for reasons. There's a lot going on.
You know what the worst one is? Perfect 10. It's like the Dan Carter, like, fluff me up docu pic about it.
I completely forgot that existed.
He is, while he might be, people argue he's the best men's rugby player ever, he is also a dud. He's a dud on screen.
What was it that on that? Okay, so I'm gonna sound like a mom here, going like that show that was on Netflix that I didn't watch because it was
Your
about
father
Six
liked
Nations.
it.
Your father liked it. That girl with the eyes was in it. You remember the eyes? No, but the Six Nations one that they made where like it was completely devoid of any personality and everybody was sick of it by the two up. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. So there's a rugby movie that came out a couple of years ago that I really want to see.
Which one?
But the name escapes me right now. It's like Red, White, and Brass or something like that.
Is it the one about San Diego?
No. It's the one about a bunch of Tongans who, on their way into going to the Rugby World Cup as part of like a brass band.
That sounds really fun. Oh, I'm looking that up.
About this.
Yeah.
Oh,
but
on,
I've been trying to find it in the States for years or for like the last year and cannot find it anywhere. But I think it's Red, White, and Brass.
Well, I want to keep the show moving along. We like to start with some news. Don't worry, Julia, I arranged to get you a smaller keyboard. I'm really hoping that's going to add to the appeal of what we have to say about the news right now. Uh, Either of you
Thank
have anything
God.
to say about the, obviously I'm referring to the smaller ball that they're introducing to the women's game. So this weekend on the sevens, they talked about it and they very much spin doctored it. They said that women have been asking for this change, and they said that it's being done to increase participation at a younger age. That has not been the reaction that I have seen online. Julia, do you want to start and tell us what we need to know about this?
If I may, because that's false. That's a lie. So I
It's
will
a blatant lie.
It's a blatant lie. So first, I will quote Alice Soper because I just saw her TikTok before I jumped on with David. And her TikTok, her response to this on TikTok was, okay. So to give a very quick background on this for folks who might not be aware, of course, in some women's sports, notably basketball, which folks abroad might not pay that much attention to, in basketball, yes, there is a smaller ball. The WNBA has been fighting against it the whole time because in college, that's not what you play with. It changes everything. Now, in rugby, just like any other sport, the size of the ball will change the way you play. So the responses that we've had are twofold. One is about the rugby, which is that will change things. That will change the way you kick. It'll change the way you pass. It'll change the way you coach indirectly because of those changes. All of those things matter very much. But the thing that matters the most to me is that this will raise yet another barrier to entry for developing nations. What a lot of people don't think about initially when they hear this, first of all, again, no women's players were asking for this. It's why you've never seen any elite level player talking about it in any way. You've never seen any campaign for it. But most importantly, think about those clubs in Uganda and Kenya. Think about the clubs in Brazil, the clubs in Thailand, all of these clubs that we love to celebrate and World Rugby loves to trot out and say, look how well we're developing. Those clubs, by the way, all have 10 balls. They're all size 5. They're all beaten to hell. And they share them with the women. The women practice with the men or right after the men. Why? So for me, I feel like this is a really big slap in the face. It's something nobody asked for.
Seems like it.
Well, they're going to invest
Especially
money
because,
in this.
because
They're going to invest
women's
money
rugby
in this
is on the
instead of-
ascendancy so much more than the men's game. Why is this the sport we're deciding to mess with at this moment?
And one of the things that we love to trot out most about a thing that we love about rugby, especially for women when we're talking about rugby, is that it is the only contact sport in the world where the rules do not differ at all between men and women. It's something that we love to trot out, and it's a really good selling point. There's a lot of like symbolism and equality there, but also, as Alice Soper pointed out, and so will I right now, I have tiny fucking hands. Here's a pen. Here's a pen. I have tiny hands. I never had a problem. Never had a problem. None of us have. I feel like if this were a problem, like you would have seen it. Like, do we have, do we have really high ball handling errors? No.
Nope.
Do we have ball retention problems? No, we have a higher ball in play than men.
Kolya, I don't want to put you in the position of a devil's advocate, but is there anything, like if you were in charge of spinning this and saying, yeah, this is a good idea, is there anything you can think of?
No.
Yeah, I'm totally at a loss.
So, like, part of the explanation being we want to get people playing it younger. Well,
we don't say that for
there
soccer.
are smaller balls.
Yeah,
For younger
they exist
people already.
They
exist. This is for the adults or high schoolers or
No,
college. That's what they're making smaller. They're not making a 3.5 size ball. They're making a 4.5. It makes no sense.
It truly, I mean, he's really nailing it though, because, and by the way, let's just point out, if they were saying we're going to move it down to a 3.5, I would at least kind of understand where they were. Like, they'd be wrong.
Yes.
But I would understand. 4.5 is such a negligible change that it feels just like it feels just like an insult.
Yeah. It feels like lowering the net by an inch.
Yeah, no, where it's just like, well, we know you can't dunk, so we'll give you the Fisher-Price basket.
Yes.
Well, the three of us, we could go on and on about this, but in other news,
and by the way, we know that World Rugby watches this, so World Rugby, we like it.
They consume content nonstop. They're
Always.
so on top. They're so.
And by the way, and the content that they consume is American.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Well, I think they're busy censoring Squidge's stuff. So
Yes.
Oh, that's okay. We don't show any footage on our content
Yes.
on our podcast.
Yeah. So in other news, our USA women have a new head coach, I think it's Hanratty. Quoting here from the press release, Hanratty joins USA Rugby following his most recent position as women's head coach at the University of Ottawa, a quality program that has been a pathway for Canadian internationals and a model experience for the similar landscape of USA Rugby. Julia, he's got experience with coaching women without actually, being one. I think all three of us, again, probably agree that maybe there was a missed opportunity here.
So I would like to, and I never made this statement public or anything, so I don't have to apologize for that much, but I do want to apologize to you two and the rest of our group chat because I take it back, honestly. I would really have liked it to be a woman. I would have really liked it to be an American. However, since this announcement, several players have been extremely excited about this, including several American players are very excited. Kayla Canet notably said that she will come back to 15s. So, okay. Dope. Across the board, I will admit that my first reaction was not super excited, but apparently super well loved among the elite women. Is apparently 100% committed to women's rugby, is not looking for his next men's job, does not want to go to men's rugby. Obviously, like any rugby person,
Well,
even me, like if I got an offer for a men's job, I would, but.
Yeah. That was the fear that we were talking about in our sort of group chat. It's like, It always seems like when they pick a man to coach a women's team, that man's goal is, this is the stepping stone to the job I really want.
Is to get seen.
Kolya, he does have experience with 7s and 15s. Is that an advantage for him? What do you think about this?
Yeah, that's definitely an advantage. My main worry is that USA or is less about him and more about USA Rugby as a whole.
Absolutely.
Because there's just seems to be a cultural thing where we believe that our own people can't do it, so we need to go elsewhere.
Yes. It feels, well, especially people like us three, we worry very much about the perception of American rugby, only because perception is what leads to people tuning in. If everybody believes that we can never raise to the occasion, they won't watch us. We know that they have a lot of bad things to say about USA men. If we can help raise the USA Rugby profile at all through high performance with the women, great. Okay. I'd like to do that. And I think he might do it. So honestly, I mean, he got a silver medal. Can't be that bad.
Yeah.
You are on mute.
Thank you. Yes, you're absolutely right. I want him to succeed. I have no idea how this will go. I don't know enough about him to wager a guess, but
learning that he is very committed to women's rugby really did a lot for me.
That is the best news I've heard all day. In yet more news, Major League Rugby has announced what its season will look like, though exact details are still pending. As the rumors had told us, it will be a 10-game season starting in April, with all teams playing the other teams home and away. It's got symmetry, it reduces the carbon footprint, it cuts costs, but it also cuts out, like 6 matches. I haven't seen a prorated refund for my season tickets, either of you. Any thoughts on how this is going to go?
Hopefully it's streamlined version of what we already had, with hopefully with less teams there's better quality, but whether that's actually the case is another matter.
Just like in Wales.
I'm curious.
Yes. And this ESPN deal with Sunday Night Rugby, I
like that.
I wonder how that's going to go. I saw earlier that they were planning to announce those fixtures first. I'm not sure if they've done that yet.
I wanted to ask you guys, though. They did. I did see the Hounds. The Hounds posted their Sunday night. So I was curious, though, from you two, Do you worry that it could pull audiences because of the probably conflicting football? I don't know, because I genuinely don't know if there is a ton of audience crossover. I know that obviously, as we three fans of American rugby, we would hope that we could pull some of
I would
those.
imagine that most American rugby fans are also
Aren't
American
gonna.
football fans.
Yes.
I think so. But I have officially broken up with the NFL, so I'm not watching Sunday Night Football. It's not on. So this is good
And
news.
to get and listeners abroad, to get a Patriots fan to say that, you really have to fuck up.
Drake May, he's doing great. We're not winning the
He's
Super Bowl.
doing great.
It's fine.
Everyone loves Bill Belichick.
He's not there anymore.
Oh, see, okay. So I
Yes.
tried.
Yes.
I'm the girl who really wants to be cool with the guys.
You're missing out on all the drama in college football where
Exactly.
he and his 20-year-old girlfriend.
I know about his college age girlfriend where he's like totally alive. He's like, I am hanging on by a thread.
He's like, I'm doing this week, and she's like, we're not talking about that.
We're not. First of all, the man won't comment.
Yes.
No, he never has. The best Belichick moment, by the way, as a Patriots fan, the best moment of all time.
Every podcast wants to hear the best
There was
Belichick
there was
Is
an
it the
episode
dog?
there was a season where the Patriots started 0-4. It was in the Brady era too, so everyone was shocked, and we lost to the Chiefs like badly, like 44-0 or something like that. And so after the game in the press conference, one of the press, questioners had the temerity to ask Belichick if maybe he was considering, somebody else at the quarterback position other than Tom Brady. He said, "Oh, are you evaluating all the positions for next week, including quarterback?" And Belichick looked so angry for a split second. It looked like he might jump the podium and just to punch the guy. And then he realized the guy was kidding. And there was that moment of like, oh, okay.
So what you're trying to tell us is the greatest moment was Bill Belichick almost getting rage baited.
Yeah. I thought it was doing the draft by not doing the draft and having his dog do it instead.
Okay, so that was one of the only like Belichick moments that like much stands out is the my dog will do it. I understand why people don't like you. I understand why people don't like you.
I don't want to be friends with him, but I'm glad he was our coach for all those years.
Exactly.
He's Rassy. He's the Rassy.
I was just going to say that.
Yes.
I genuinely, Rassy so here's the thing. If it wouldn't get me crucified, because again, I am only a women's rugby fan. I don't know that much about men's, except for that obviously I know about South Africa. Is it more Rassy or more Eddie Jones? Because Rassy, I'm so sorry. I would have a drink with Rassy. I would have a drink with him. I would not have a drink with Eddie Jones.
Definitely. No, it is a combination. He tries to kill his players.
Eddie Jones would just do slurs at me. Like, I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
and then
the
there
MLR,
was that other news.
Go ahead. Oh, well, let me finish this up.
Okay.
In the end, the MLR, I'm glad it's obviously happening. I'm very excited my Free Jacks to be back in action. I'm already getting worked up over how stacked the Chicago roster is starting to look. It's not going to be an easy ride.
I'm excited for you to cyberbully me about Old Glory.
I will be. We hate Old Glory because New York disappeared. They're the closest team for us to hate, so we're trying to hate them. It's not working out.
It's like hurting a disabled puppy. Like,
yeah.
Look at him.
They're gonna be better this year.
Look at him. Oh, I know, because they absorbed half of the good players.
They did.
Yeah.
I'm still bummed there's no longer a San Diego Legion. They were a great fan base, and they took one on the nose this offseason. Although Houston, Miami, and Utah fans might be looking to have a quiet word with me right now.
Yeah.
Kolya, what else do you got?
Well, there was that news that broke this morning over in Australia.
The World Cup draw, because we are going to get to that in a little. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I have another section for that, so we can do that in just a minute.
Perfect.
Before we, in fact, get into the USA action for this weekend, I did want to take a moment to remind you all that liking and subscribing is the best way to help us grow. If you could tell a friend or two, that would be smashing. We are part of the Global Gainline Network. We're incredibly grateful for your ongoing support. We're growing steadily on YouTube. We remain your one-stop shop for all things rugby. We've got Irish content, got South African content. We've got the Women's Treehouse, or at least we used to. Hint. So do yourself a favor and check it all out and help us spread the word. We really do appreciate all of you. We're over 1,200 subscribers now on YouTube, so we really appreciate it. And thank you for tuning in. Meanwhile, in the PWR this weekend on Saturday, Sale, they drew with Exeter 26-all with Hope Rogers making the difference, scoring in the final moments for the Chiefs. The Trailfinders, they got thoroughly pantsed by Saracens 5-57. My Loughborough Lightning, they smashed Leicester Tigers 50-15, a game that featured a classic performance from Lev Kelter.
Yes,
Is
it
it
did.
possible that she's still getting better? And then on Sunday, Bristol Bears lost to the juggernaut Gloucester Hartbury, who looked completely unstoppable. Most weekends. Julia, what were some of your highlights from round 5, and who stood out for you for our Eagles?
Other than like staring into the middle distance as a Bristol fan of like, hello darkness, my old friend. It's fine. No Americans on Bristol, so we're not talking about it. I will just say for the team of the week that was released today, we have both Hope Rogers on the team of the week, and we have Kristen Bitter at 10, which is huge news for us, which is huge news for the USA Eagles because the 10 shirt has always been a problem for us. So that's great.
Yeah.
She also has put out that had a recent interview was talking about some struggles that she had very recently, almost not selected for the World Cup. Then has now made a name for herself that ended up getting her signed for PWR, which was fantastic. Otherwise, yeah, we had some really great American performances. I feel like we're really ascendant, and I think that this week definitely Loughborough was our big like highlight for American talent. Absolutely.
The PWR
a lot of the English
runs on America.
No, I was gonna say it runs on North America because we also had Olivia Apps at 9 on the team of the week.
Yeah.
She was fantastic. Now, what I said it at the time when they announced her as injury cover, I was like, oh yeah, no. Like for me, like the scrum half that almost won the World Cup. Yeah, like she's just gonna like she's dabbling in the PWR. They said she's injury cover for another fantastic 9, to be fair, but not American. Or not a North American at all, rather. But yeah, we had a great American showing this weekend. I feel like our American players are going strength to strength. I'm looking at the team of the week right now, and honestly, the only reason that Erica Gerald Cersei isn't there as well is because the two locks that they picked. Or actually, who did they have at 8? Oh, okay. Well, they have Poppy Cleo at 8, so fair enough. Erica was playing 8 as well, so fair enough if they're going position. Fair enough. But yeah, no, we are trucking along.
Kolya, did you watch the PWR this weekend? Did you have any highlights for us?
The only one I've been able to catch was the Saracens match against Trailfinders. That was a blowout.
Yeah.
Uncharacteristic for Trailfinders, but
yes.
Yeah,
they looked poor.
It looked like they just couldn't handle anything Saracens did.
No,
Emily Heinrich, she put in a full 80 and got her first try of the season.
Yeah.
I don't have any other real standout performances. Am I missing anyone?
No, other than the ones that we just named.
Yeah.
So I don't watch this competition. I want to. Nia Tolliver and Hallie, is it Taufuu?
Taufuu, yeah.
They've been carving it up for Bordeaux in France. I still haven't found a way to watch this competition. Have either of you?
No. And in fact, we have asked several times. So here's the deal. I believe it is 1 and up to 2, depending, but it kind of it's not set in stone. It's kind of it's very French. It's kind of like whatever we feel like it. Sometimes there are 2 broadcasts a week on Canal Plus. Sometimes it's only 1. And in fact, I think I joked last time that we were all 3 together. I honestly watched one of the most recent Toulouse matches because one of the injured players just broadcast it from TikTok. So That's how I'm watching a little bit. And what's very funny with that is because like when there was a stoppage in play, she'd like pan to her other injured teammates and they're like eating a hot dog and they're like, please don't. I'm learning a lot of French cursing. Because you're allowed, because what are they gonna do? It's been a lot of fun, but unfortunately, no, it's incredibly hard to watch. And friend of the pod, friend of the all of us, Hugh, has talked a little bit about it on Parlez-Vous Rugby, covering French rugby and especially the constant day over day, month over month, year over year growth in watching rugby in France. Why aren't you broadcasting these? Are you stupid? We want to watch them so bad. I will pay. If the Rugby Network were to get Elite One, I would pay.
Yeah.
And I hate that network. I would still do it. No,
But,
Elite
by
One
the
is
way,
the one I want to watch so bad.
Complete side note here, and I'm only asking this because I know I have language nerds on the line here. So when you look at language theory, when you look at, I think it's La Rochefoucauld, he talks about, in order to understand the definition of a word, the best thing to do is look up the definition of that word and then look up the definition of the two words above and below it, because only by knowing what the word doesn't mean can you fully appreciate the meaning of the word. French, as a language, has many fewer words than we have in American English. That means the distance between those definitions is greater. Does that give them greater understanding for every word they know the word doesn't mean, or less? Only you two would I ask this question.
I actually had a conversation tangential to this recently online, but it was more about what meaning is encoded within each word, because it is a common misconception that when a language is perhaps spoken more rapidly or slower, or the people that you watch often spoke more rapidly or slower, that there is more information encoded. There is not. I think it probably transposes to meaning as well. I think usually, especially between English and French, there will definitely at least be synonyms. I'm just gonna wait for Kolya.
Only on an American Rugby pod would you hear about La Rochefoucauld, but I feel like Kolya has insight here too.
Yeah. So this is a difficult one. What I would say is probably not. There are so many different ways to do language and so many different ways to do word meaning.
And here's the thing.
Yes, Julia?
Oh, yeah. All I was going to say is, and in sociolinguistics, which is where I come from, Kolya comes from my favorite, because your favorite is always the one you don't work with. Language acquisition is my favorite cool thing that I don't know that much about. That's Kolya's expertise. My expertise is sociolinguistics and language change over time and between demographics. You can find a way to use basically any idiolect. You can use more words than another nearby dialect. You can use far fewer. Generally, all you ever care about with language is that the meaning is expressed. Neither I nor Kolya are poets. Those are the ones who have the hardest problem with language.
Yes. So what I was going to say is, like, I would say you can tell more about a language based on the word that has the most synonyms.
Absolutely.
That's
or the words that have the most synonyms.
Yeah.
Wow.
Absolutely. Generally, in general, any word, the more synonyms that it has, it means generally you're talking about it more.
Right, right. Though obviously American English is the most hodgepodge, much like our own society. We take it all and we take your cool croissant and we make it a Chris sandwich. So
we are neither Germanic nor Latin, but a secret third thing.
Yes.
A secret third thing. Now I want a t-shirt. That was a rabbit hole that we didn't expect on an American Rugby pod, but elsewhere
at me or Kolya anytime, we will absolutely chat this out. Kolya has a real job.
I knew that was going to work.
Yeah,
knew that was going to
Kolya
work.
has a real job. I have a fake job. Whenever he's not around, I'll take over.
Anyway, elsewhere, the latest edition of the Sevens, it kicked off in Dubai. Oy vey already with games in Dubai, but it was a pretty solid start for a new look Eagles squad. We dropped our opener, but then we managed a very exciting win against the Black Ferns,
It
a
was
feat that
incredible.
we hadn't accomplished that in 14 consecutive meetings. It was an incredible result despite us desperately trying to give it away at the end, like multiple ways. We're like, how many ways are there that we can just cough this up? And we tried all of them and somehow it didn't work. Um, Julia, I don't think you said you didn't catch the sevens. Kolya, either of you have
That is the
catch
one
any
match I
highlights at
caught.
all? Either of you have any highlights from the weekend?
Yeah. I was impressed, especially seeing that the Black Ferns ended up just obliterating everyone else they played.
Yep. Stacey Waka, she's gonna
It
be
was
60.
definitely.
She's gonna be like, yeah, I'm starting.
I mean, if Portia can do it, you know Stacey's gonna do it.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I the only one that I saw was the USA New Zealand because like it was very necessary to
good.
see it, and it was
Except for the
fantastic.
ending.
Did we win or didn't we?
We won. We tried not to win.
You don't always have to win pretty, baby.
Yeah.
By the end of the tournament or the weekend, it was pretty much as expected. New Zealand and Australia, they took the top two spots for both men and women. For the women, Japan, they got a surprising third place result, followed by the Fijiana and then our Eagles in fifth place. Our men aren't actually part of this tournament with the new format, which I'm having a hard time kind of getting used to. Any final thoughts on the sevens? They're
David,
back to...
They can't have us just because we like us. That's very American of us. I know. I agree. I think we should be there for the laughs.
I think we should be there because we should have been there.
Yeah.
I knew Coach would come in.
So our men weren't in action this week, obviously, but they did have some developments to track. The draw for the pools for Rugby World Cup 2027 in Australia, it was held this morning. The USA, they find themselves looking at Pool E, where they will face France, Japan, and Samoa. Even with our results, I think we should be targeting a win or two in this pool. Japan and Samoa are both teams we've beaten in recent memory. In theory, we're looking at, a lot of money and development going to this team for the next 2 years. Julia, what's a realistic result for our men in this pool in 2027?
That really was what I was thinking. Exactly what you said in terms of who you target. I do think similar to the women, actually, you will be targeting Samoa. Japan is, I think Japan is going to be the one that is, for me, hardest to call.
They must have fired Eddie Jones by then. It's 2 years.
Right.
They can't have him as their coach by then.
I mean, we say that tongue in cheek, but just in terms of like, if you look at history and the pattern, I don't necessarily think. I don't know. I don't want to come out sounding like I'm talking out my ass, but I'm just going off history and I'm looking at trends. I don't know if this will be there, to be honest. Japan also likes to cycle their coaches, or at least the women they do.
Yeah. They're not getting results. Kolya, what do you foresee? Do you like this pool? Do you like this draw? Is this good for us?
So I was reading elsewhere today that they were describing this pool as the pool of death.
That's crazy to me.
Which is ridiculous to me because France is going to win every match by.
They're going to win everything.
At least 50. They're going to beat us by 100.
It's the pool of décolleté.
You're right, but it really hurts. 100. You're right, but it's giving me heartburn.
Yeah.
So I just want to interject. France are going to give us their B team. They're going to say, we're going to win these.
Oh, absolutely.
No matter what.
We won't see any of our favorites.
So they're going to win, but it's going to be like 42-7, not 100.
That's what I was thinking.
No, it'll be the ones who go full jouet on us, and
which
we're not
they will
going to be
have
able
fun doing
to cope with it.
Yeah. I think they're
So
genuinely gonna play with us like a cat playing with
yeah,
a bug.
yeah, yeah. Samoa, like we just beat them to qualify,
Yeah.
so
Right.
we
That's
should
gotta
be
be our
able to
target.
win.
But
And then
I think
Japan is a
if you look
toss-up.
if you look at USA and Samoa and you think who's going to go on a more upward trajectory over the next 2 years, I think it's probably Samoa. Yeah,
I
we've got
hope.
Well,
money, we've got
well,
interest.
I
where are they
hope.
going to play?
I was just gonna say the thing about Samoa is that
That's a good
at
question.
is that there unfortunately there is always a ceiling for Samoa just because of
Yeah,
resource availability, places to
great point.
play, and availability of places and people to practice against that will teach you
Yes.
something new. Because they can play against Tonga a million times, you won't learn something new. That's all.
Yeah. So
Final. Oh, go ahead.
Samoa has Moana Pacifica where they can have some of their better players
Yeah.
play. And then they
Though not
were
based in
using the
Samoa.
MLR.
Sure.
Yeah, and then they were using the MLR,
Right.
but with MLR's new
Right.
pro America
Right.
development
Which
thing,
I'm really curious
that's
to
going
see
to
how that
force them
goes long term.
elsewhere. Yes, and that's going to end up pushing them to France, and France doesn't like letting go of their players.
Correct.
So they're not going to
I
play
think he's
together
dead
until
on.
you get to the World Cup.
I think
France
you're
were
dead
really
on.
mad at us in the Olympics back in the
Okay.
20s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Every men's World Cup, there's always a team that becomes the public's darling. Uruguay, they definitely, stole the world's heart. Portugal has charmed us all. Who do you
The
think is going to
version
be who's going to be the neutrals' darling for 2027? I was looking at Chile, but now I'm looking heavily at Zimbabwe.
I was going
Okay,
to
you're
say
totally
Zimbabwe.
right. You're totally right. So Zimbabwe was what
Gotta
I was
be.
going to say as well, but in my heart, in a very corner of my heart, and I say this about friends that are absolutely not listening to my rugby podcast, but I have several Romanian friends who I am slowly getting into rugby through their men's team because their men's team actually,
Yeah.
their women's team is actually playing again for the first time in 17 years, which is fantastic. But I am trying to get folks in, and both of my Romanian friends are near enough that they can go to Bucharest, and I would just love that for them. But it's gonna be Zimbabwe. Yeah, they're gonna be so lovable. Come on.
Final thing, and this is kind of an afterthought. I'm just curious. In the time that we all have known each other, and let's face it, for most of history, our USA women's program has been in a stronger position than our men. After the Olympics, the I call it the Spiff Olympics. Most people think of it as the Ilona Mara Olympics.
I think of it as the
Um,
Spiff Olympics because that's who won it. Sorry, go on.
she did, and I think he got spiffed or they got spiffed is a thing we should be using from
Really
now
great
on.
verb. Great verb.
Um, but after that Olympics, all the momentum was with the women. Do you think that is still the case? Both of you, do you feel the public's focus has shifted towards the men? Like a part of me thinks it's just because the autumn series, maybe there's recency bias, but are either of you worried that the shine has come off of the women? Did USA Rugby squander the momentum we found with that silver medal?
I don't think so.
I
I
don't think so.
think yeah.
That's great
Yeah,
news.
I would say that all of the turmoil going on with MLR and the fight to or tripping over ourselves to qualify for the men made it so that if there was a possibility to catch up, they kind of took two steps back instead.
Hmm.
Could USA Rugby be doing more right now to shine a spotlight on the women? Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Oh, I
please.
was gonna say on the men, honestly. I
Even
I
and the men. But like we have this MLR partnership with ESPN. How about we get some PWR highlights on Sports Center?
That's what I'm saying is get stuff in front of people's faces. I feel like where the gap is not necessarily about the USA men versus the USA women. I feel like the gap lies between bringing rugby to the Americans. That's your job, USA Rugby.
Great point.
Your job, USA Rugby. It doesn't matter if it's the men or the women. Right now, you really should be highlighting the men. But you know what? For everything else, we've said about this person, that all doesn't matter. Alona is absolutely right about one thing, and it's that, for better or for worse, sometimes people have to make people make characters of themselves, not characters in a derogatory way, but make individual stars of themselves. Compared to women's rugby, and there's a lot to criticize about it, and you can be nuanced about it, in terms of does it get in the way of your rugby, whatever. But everybody, people who aren't rugby people know Alona Mar. People who aren't rugby people know Ellie Kildunn. They're doing it. They understand, and they've had to dig for that, and you have to go through other avenues. The men are focused on their rugby, and that's great. That's absolutely what they should be doing. You know who should be putting in the legwork? Whoever they're paying to do social media at USA Rugby. What are you doing?
100%.
How are you not picking up clips about... So here's the thing. Why aren't you showing me clips of all the men who are playing abroad? I want to see their games. I want to see their cool little, even if they only scored once, even if they only had one great scrum. I want to see it. I don't care.
Yeah.
Give me names to look for. I genuinely, so I went and looked, actually, because I thought we might talk about this. I went and I looked. What I have seen mostly from USA Rugby socials about the men has been retirements.
Wow.
All of the talking they've been doing recently has been about retirements.
That's so indicative.
I haven't seen who is playing in Pro D2, who is playing in Top 14, who is playing in the English Prem, all of which, by the way, we have American stars.
Yes.
Yeah. David Ainu had another good weekend.
It's unforgivable.
Yes,
Ainu was who I was thinking of, actually. I was like, it's unforgivable that he is not also a household name in terms of if you're a rugby fan already. That's ridiculous. I understand that there are cultural differences between men and women's rugby. Okay. Unfortunately, even men, and they don't want to talk about it, but even men use TikTok. Even men are on Instagram. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. They don't want to talk about it. They don't want to be fanboys, whatever. You don't have to. But that's how you make stars.
Yes. And with that, unfortunately, I'm going to have to get off.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
No, that's a perfect place, as always.
That's a perfect place.
Any final thoughts for either of you before we call a full lid?
Go Eagles.
Go Eagles and get more rugby on social media.
Absolutely.
Fans who are listening, reach out to us to tell us what your best rugby movies are. Doesn't have to be a documentary. It could be a movie like I described, where it's an actual written drama kind of thing. Reach out to us about that. Tell us what you think we're going to see from our Eagles in the PWR. Tell us what you think about the draw that we just learned about Australia in 2027. As always, thanks to Lee, Hugh, and all the folks at The Wrap. Thanks to all of you for coming along and watching or listening. As always, we're on YouTube. We're on all the usual platforms. For audio pods, we're everywhere, frankly. So, if you can help us out by spreading the word, that will be phenomenal. Until next time, from all of us here at the Maul Street Journal, cheers. Thanks to you all, and be well.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.